Hello, dear listeners. Today I want to share with you a story that will touch the deepest corners of your heart. It's a tale about trust, about the moments that change everything, and about the reflections that reveal more than we ever wanted to see. This is a story about love, betrayal, and the painful beauty of truth. Sometimes life presents us with moments so quiet yet so powerful that they reshape our entire understanding of the world around us. So settle in, take a deep breath, and let me take you on a journey through one of those moments that define us. This is the silent truth. The door handle turned with barely a whisper. I had learned to move quietly through our home, something that had become second nature after years of marriage. The afternoon light filtered through the blinds, casting gentle shadows across the room where she sat. Her fingers danced across the keyboard with practiced ease, completely absorbed in whatever held her attention. The soft clicking sounds filled the space between us, a rhythm I had grown accustomed to during her many late-night work sessions. At least, that's what I had always believed them to be. Then came the betrayal of that old, familiar squeak. The door hinge that I had been meaning to oil for months suddenly became the herald of revelation. The sound cut through the quiet like a blade. In one swift motion, the laptop screen snapped shut. The sound echoed through the room with such finality that it seemed to steal the very air from my lungs. The silence that followed was deafening, pregnant with questions I wasn't sure I wanted answered. Time seemed to freeze as we looked at each other across the room that had once felt like our sanctuary. "What are you working on?" The words left my mouth before I could stop them, carrying a casual tone that felt foreign on my tongue. "Nothing important," she replied, her smile blooming across her face like a flower opening to sunlight. But something about it felt rehearsed, too polished, like a performance she had given countless times before. Her voice carried that same gentle warmth that had first captured my heart years ago. The same melody that had whispered promises in the darkness, that had laughed at my terrible jokes, that had said, "I love you," every morning as we shared coffee and dreams of our future. Yet now, that familiar voice felt like a stranger's, wearing the mask of someone I thought I knew completely. The woman sitting before me was both the person I had shared a bed with for 5 years and a complete mystery. How long had she been wearing this mask? How many times had I looked into those eyes and missed the secret hiding behind them? But fate, it seems, has a cruel sense of timing. As she rose from the chair, moving with the grace that had always made my heart skip a beat, I caught something that changed everything. There, in the dark surface of the closed laptop screen, was a ghost of what had been. The reflection held the truth she had tried to hide. A chat window frozen in time for just long enough for me to see what mattered most. 2 names sat side by side in that digital space. Hers, the name I had written on birthday cards and whispered in the darkness, paired with another. A stranger's name that now felt like it had invaded every corner of our life together. My chest tightened as the weight of realization settled over me. All those late nights, all those sudden laptop closures, all those perfectly innocent explanations that had seemed so reasonable. They formed a pattern I had been too trusting, too loving to see. The reflection disappeared as she moved away, but the image was burned into my memory forever. Sometimes the truth reveals itself in the smallest moments, in the briefest glimpses of what lies beneath the surface. Standing there in our living room, surrounded by the life we had built together, I felt the ground shift beneath my feet. The photographs on the walls seemed to mock me with their frozen smiles. The couch where we had spent countless evenings watching movies felt like a monument to naivety. She busied herself with small tasks, straightening papers that didn't need straightening, adjusting decorations that were already perfect. But I could see the tension in her shoulders, the careful way she avoided meeting my eyes directly. The questions multiplied in my mind like ripples in a disturbed pond. How long had this been going on? Was this the first time, or had there been others? Were those business trips really about business? Had our entire relationship become a carefully constructed illusion? Yet beneath the storm of betrayal and confusion, another emotion emerged. A strange, unexpected sense of clarity. The doubts that had whispered at the edges of my consciousness for months suddenly had a voice. The feeling that something had changed between us now had a name. As I watched her move through the motions of normalcy, I realized that this moment, painful as it was, had given me something I hadn't even known I was searching for: the truth. And sometimes, even when the truth breaks your heart, it also sets you free. The story of US had taken an unexpected turn, but at least now I knew which story I was really living. Thank you for joining me on this emotional journey today. Sometimes the most profound moments in our lives happen in complete silence, in the space between a door's creak and a laptop's snap. This story reminds us that truth, no matter how painful, has the power to liberate us from the illusions we unknowingly live within. It shows us that even in our darkest moments of discovery, there can be a strange kind of peace in finally understanding. Life is full of reflections. Some we see clearly, others we miss entirely. But when we do catch those glimpses of reality, they become the moments that define our path forward. If this story touched your heart, please share it with someone who might need to hear it. And remember, sometimes the most difficult truths lead to the most beautiful new beginnings. Until next time, take care of your hearts, and never be afraid to look closely at the reflections life shows you. Thank you for listening.